Tech News Weekly is sponsored by Hover.com. Domain names made simple. Go to gfq.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. And by Stitcher Radio. Listen on the go via the Stitcher mobile app. For more information, go to stitcher.com/GFQ.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everybody to Tech News Weekly. This is a show where we wrap up everything that happened in tech. I am your host, Andrew Zarian, with a yellow background, and I'm joined by Suncast, as I am each and every week. How you doing, Suncast?
Hey, Andrew, what's up?
Nothing much, man. How's everything?
It's good. It's hot today, though.
It is very hot today. Very hot today. But I do want to tell everybody, if you're watching on any number of our feeds, we're on Stickam, Justin TV, Ustream. We're pretty much everywhere you could imagine. We even have a live audio feed on Stitcher Radio. You can go to our website, gfqlive.tv, the newly redesigned gfqlive.tv, and you can chat with us. We have a great chat room there, a bunch of people in there. Brian Monroe saying hello to Suncast. Suncast will say hello back. It's a whole thing. We talk to each other here.
No, I won't.
You won't.
Not with Brian.
Not with Brian. Yeah, not with Brian.
He doesn't deserve anything like that.
Yeah,
I just put him on ignore every single time.
Yeah, that's actually not a joke. I love Brian. But this is a show where we wrap up things that happen in tech, and in a very eventful week and a monumental and historic week, because Facebook has gone public as of 11 a.m. this morning on Friday. And the stock has gone up and down. I believe it hit $45. It opened at $38. Not bad. A lot of people estimated over there. My prediction was...
Yeah, a lot of people were like, we've known this was coming for quite a while now, and we were just trying to figure out, all right, well, what is their actual initial offering price that they're going to set it at? And we didn't know that until basically yesterday.
Yeah, I believe there were some speculations it would be at 32, then 36. Finally, they settled on 38. It opened up at 38. The stock shot right up to $45, and then it plummeted by the end of the day. A lot of people selling off, I think, after like a 6% gain, which is not bad. They sold off, and now the stock is sitting at around $38 again. So it really didn't budge. But you also have to remember, this is not a mass trading. A lot of people do not have access to the stock yet. So the more there's on the market, the more people are selling. Of course, the more that stock will come into play.
Yeah, this is definitely a story that I want to get your opinion on, because you're the financial and business guy of the network here. I don't necessarily understand it nearly as well as you would, but apparently Facebook had hired a whole bunch of underwriters to actually increase the number of bids every single time that the price of the stock hit below $3.01.
$38.01.
Yeah, $38.
Yeah.
So every time it actually hit $38, you would see an increase in the amount of bids for the stock to send it back up.
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, that's a common thing, especially with a large company like this. Google, I believe, at one time did the same. 421 million shares went up for grabs today. I mean, crazy. The amount of trade was unbelievable. This is probably one of the biggest IPO launches since Google, in my opinion.
Was it worth all of the hype? Because there are people out there and some blogs that are saying there was so much all this hype stuff out there, but then we didn't really see anything happen.
Well, no,
there was nothing crazy.
Listen, it's the first day. The stock market is extremely unpredictable. Many stocks that you imagine would do phenomenal. Like look at Microsoft. Microsoft has been kind of a flatline stock for a while. So the price of the stock does not necessarily impact the profits of a company. You know, it's very unpredictable. People buy and sell for God knows what reason. But I am a little surprised that the stock kind of fell flat. I'm just going to check at the final closing price, because the last time we looked, it closed at $38.27. Not much from the time that it opened. $45.
So you gained 23 cents per share.
27. Yeah, 27 cents per share. about set 0.71%. So not much of a percentage gain, but many of these people bought and sold. Now, here's the fascinating part. Facebook is being accused of literally hiring people to go on message boards, blogs. Reddit is one of those sites to kind of cover up the bad news and to take away bad, I guess people saying like don't buy or sell the stock, to kind of hide it. They're trying to cover up people's opinions of the stock, which is very interesting to me that if this accusation is true.
That's a very, very, very Facebook type of thing.
Well, welcome to the stock market.
I mean, I would expect Mark Zuckerberg to do something like that, you know?
And again, we don't know if this is true, this accusation is true, but...
No, but it definitely seems like something they would do.
It seems like any company that's gone public on the first day wants to do. It's too early to tell. It really is. And I think this is going to be a big stock. This is going to be like a Google, in my opinion, in the coming years.
How long before we know that it's going to pay off? Or how long do you think it'll actually stay above its initial offering?
I think by the end of next week, it'll be about $42.
Really?
Yeah. I think it'll go up and down, up and down. 40 to 45 is a price point, in my opinion.
As we've seen a lot of other companies, smaller companies, much smaller companies, such as Zynga and others, have their initial offering, and they were maybe good the first day or two, but then their stock price is totally
well. Listen,
plummeted.
Look at Groupon. Groupon was a bust.
Yeah,
and people
that's
did not
my point.
expect it.
Is that how do we know that Facebook is actually going to weather? I think we have to expect that it's going to do better than these other companies just because they are such a more known and larger company, but at the same time, can they weather the same effects that these other companies have had?
But let's look at the big picture of the stock market itself. A lot of these tech stocks, online stocks, took a hit this today. Groupon was down almost 7%. Amazon was down 2%. Overstock was down 1.42%. So a lot of these companies took a hit today. So it doesn't necessarily reflect only on Facebook and the way that Facebook is trending on the stock market. But I'm telling you, this is going to be many people's retirements. A lot of people are going to dump a lot of money in Facebook. And, I say go for it. I think it's a great idea.
This is kind of like the IBM of our generation, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think this will be, a lot of people. I don't own any tech stocks, so I just want to put that out there. But unless you count satellite radio as a tech stock, I own a very small percentage of that right now. I've sold most of it. But a lot of people are going to look back at this day, and say, wow, I had the option to buy Facebook at $38. I think a lot of people are going to do that. This is a gigantic company as far as reach goes, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. I think it's a very interesting time, and it's a very exciting time for many people.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there was this other story that kind of goes along with this, that Facebook is now being sued for $15 billion over alleged privacy infractions.
Yeah, Stewart Law.
There's a law firm called Stewart's Law US that announced today that it's combining 21 privacy lawsuits against Facebook in a class action lawsuit.
For $15 billion.
$15 billion.
The violation.
You just said they raised about $16 billion.
It's about $10,000 per user.
Right.
Yeah. Listen.
This crap or.
Yeah. People, they're gonna try to sue it because they know there's money. People could justify any lawsuit. The odds are they'll give them a couple bucks to go away because the court proceedings and trying to defend themselves is going to cost them a lot more. They'll give them a couple $1,000 and these people will go away, and that's just how it works.
But it's not like Facebook doesn't have a history of privacy issues either.
But you know what I want to ask
It's not something that's like totally trumped up like all these sexual harassment charges against John Travolta. It's not something like that. There's actually some legitimacy that could happen here.
Well, here's my whole point with this. When you're giving information out to any website, anybody, any person, there is a risk of a privacy breach. Now, when if
you look at Twitter and what Facebook have done is that they actually have cookies that track what websites you go to. As long as their Facebook like button or the tweet button is on a web page, they can track whether or not you've been to that web page.
But I think we have to use common sense when it comes to certain things and go with the assumption that even if they say they don't, they have the ability to do that. Credit card companies really are not supposed to share your information, but there are breaches all the time. So you really have to go into it thinking, you know what, something like this could happen. Now, when it comes to Facebook, it's not the same as a credit card company where you don't want people to have it. You kind of control the flow of information. So use common sense and don't post things you don't want out there. I don't post anything that I really don't want out in the public. I think a lot of people have to put that into consideration when they're
like you're at Press 195 or whatever it is every
yeah,
Saturday.
Yeah, listen, if I didn't want that out there, I wouldn't post it on my Press 195 getting loaded on a Saturday. You know, these are things that I want out there. I'm okay. I do want to go into
You just
this.
want scores of people to come and mob you and be like, oh, Andrew Zarian, I want your autograph.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Let's go into this let's go into this Verizon story that you have here. Early this week, you informed me, I think it was yesterday, you told me that Verizon is upping their rates on everything, pretty much.
Pretty much, yes. They're upping. Well, what they're doing is it's two different things in a way. It sounds like they are going to change their plans and pricing for Fios Internet and TV. So if you have Fios Internet or TV, it sounds like there are some price increases coming down the line.
But we
don't know
more.
How much yet, though?
But I believe we do because Verizon, according to DSL reports, which I'll pull up right now, which I had up. Verizon, nope, that's not it. That's not it. They're raising DVR prices by $2 a month. So the DVRs are going to cost you $17. And they also announced their pricing plan. Verizon says rate hikes, and I don't have it here anymore. But I know they raised the DVR. But you are getting a speed increase with Fios. If you have a 35 by 35 package, you are now going to get 75 by 35. If you have a 25 by 25,
but are they going to charge you more for that?
For no, yeah.
Or are they just giving you giving everybody speed upgrades?
Well, now that you're getting a price hike, you're getting you're getting everything else bumped up. Here's the thing: 25 becoming 50 by 25, 35 by 35 becoming 75 by 35. This is with the price hike. So you're going to pay a couple bucks more, but you're getting a lot more.
I wouldn't mind paying $2 more for that kind of a speed increase.
Yeah, not bad, right?
That's totally worth it.
It's not bad.
Comcast over the past couple of years have increased their fees and costs quite significantly. My bill has gone up probably $10 to $20 more in the past year with Comcast. And I haven't gotten any speed increases or anything like that. I mean, there's been they changed it from 8 to 12, but that's nothing. At least not when you compare it to Verizon. That's nothing whatsoever. So I'm confused as far as why they would make those increases for such little gain. Yeah.
Well, I think because the bandwidth really doesn't cost them a lot of money. It's not going to cost them to give you a 75 by 35 instead of a 35 by 35 or a 50 by 35. So they'll raise that, but they'll make a couple of bucks. The changes should be arriving in most places by the 18th of June.
Yeah, I believe they said midsummer.
Let's see.
But then there's the other part of this story, too. I don't know if you want to move on to that.
Yeah, go into it.
That Verizon, all this took place when the Verizon Communications CFO, Fran Shamo, were talking to investors at a JP Morgan Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference. This is where all this information is coming from, is that this Shamo person said that they're going to kill off the unlimited data plan. So if you're grandfathered into a plan right now, you are going to be forced to move to a different tier data plan. You are not going to be allowed to keep that data plan, that unlimited data plan anymore.
For Verizon Wireless.
That's costing them too much now.
You're talking about the wireless plan.
Yes.
But, I mean, who's unlimited? Nobody's unlimited. Nobody's truly
there
unlimited.
There are people that have grandfathered in unlimited data plans.
Truly unlimited
data.
data.
What this is they're talking about how they're moving away from 3G to 4G now, and now that it's 4G, well, you can't have unlimited because it's 4G, which to me is a bunch of BS. Just because it's 4G, that means that they can change every single pricing plan that they have. But isn't this just what comes with technology? Technology moves on. But because there's technology changes, that means everything's going to cost more. I thought with the advent of technology,
Get cheaper.
things get cheaper because
No,
if you
it's
look
never.
at it, when we first got personal computers, they were like $3,000. Now you can get them for like $300.
You know what's interesting about this? They don't offer a lower plan. Like they don't offer like a 5x2. You know what I mean? Like for FiOS, I
Yeah.
find that interesting that they don't. But I don't know anybody with a truly unlimited plan. I don't think any of them are unlimited.
No, they're gonna force their customers to migrate to their new, what they're calling, data share plan, which is, I guess, a lot like their family share plans, where you're gonna actually be able to share those data buckets between everybody that has a line on your account, I guess, or something like that, which seems a little weird to me. I don't know if they, I mean, what happens if you actually want more than let's say you have one person that wants to have their set amount and another person that wants their set amount. You don't necessarily want one plan to share between you both.
What if, you know what, with the family plans, maybe you could specify who gets how much?
I have no idea if that's possible or not.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I mean, they did come out today. I think they said they further refined it, saying that existing companies can keep their unlimited data plans. They just won't be able to get new subsidized smartphones. So if you actually pay full price for the phone, you can keep your unlimited data plan.
Okay.
But then does the cost difference negate that? If you're paying full retail price for a phone, doesn't that still cost you more than it would for just any other data plan?
I think the whole system is screwed up, if you ask me. The entire structure of these data plans and the way that they work is totally screwed up.
Oh, we've been over this tons of times with Eric Lanigan. I think we're all in agreement here that carriers' data plans and text messaging plans and everything in between is just totally screwed up. Part of it is there's no competition anymore, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no accountability. There's no responsibility. There's nothing out there to push back against these companies that are raising their prices and doing these things. Who's going to tell them you can't do that? People aren't going to up and leave carriers in droves, or at least in enough numbers to make a difference and for these people to rethink, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't do that.
I'll give you an example here. When Verizon Fios first came to New York City, they were kicking butt with their HD channels. I mean, they had a huge leap over Time Warner Cable. Time Warner Cable maybe had 30 HDs, and Verizon came out swinging with over 100. Since 2007, they have not added more than 10 HD channels.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the competition? Where is the innovation? Where is the growth? They don't care because now they got you. And they don't really care.
And they've made agreements with everybody else in the area.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, Verizon literally said in this conference that they are not going to continue to build out its Verizon Fios network anymore. They're done with that. They're done. They're not going to build it out. So if you're somebody that wants Verizon Fios in an area that it's not existing, there's no way you're going to get it unless you actually move to an area that already has it.
Well, let's move on to the Comcast story. Comcast very similarly announced a new structure to their pricing, and it's really whacked out.
It's not. They're testing it right now. They're not
they're
going with
testing
this
it,
across the board just yet.
What is it exactly?
Let me find the story here because it does have some specifics. What they're going to do is they're going to test some new tiered plans. They're right now they're doing away with the 250 gigabyte soft cap. Right now you have a soft cap between 250 gigabytes to 300 gigabytes every single month for your home broadband connection with Comcast. What they're thinking of doing is raising that to 300 gigabytes, but you're going to be capped at that 300 gigabytes with the option of paying more should you want more than 300 gigabytes. So it's not like, if you went over In some areas, you would get a stern warning, and after a few warnings, they would totally kick you out.
Yeah.
Now, instead, if you go over that, you're going to have to pay money, which is very similar to what carriers do in terms of if you go over your minutes or your data plan.
How often do you go over?
I luckily live in an area where this is not a problem. Thank goodness. Because there's almost every month, I think I'm around 300 gigabytes right now.
Okay, so
Every single month.
they're saying they'll possibly charge you $10 for 50 gigs or so.
Which is not insane, but at the same time, it's hard because I like the setup that I have now because there is that soft cap where in my area, if I actually use more than what that cap is, then it's not a problem because there's just not that many people using that sort of data in my area. So it's perfectly fine.
This is just insane that we have these caps still put in place when there's services like Netflix and Hulu that are extremely popular. I'm telling you, the next thing is, and the answer to this, I know it's going to happen, and it's going to be awful for net neutrality. If you have Comcast and you buy Netflix through Comcast rather than going to Netflix.com, you're still going to pay the same, but Netflix is going to give a price, I guess, commission fee to Comcast, and they're not going to cap you on Netflix or Hulu. That's how they're going to do this.
I don't know. It's the more I look at this, it's not as bad as I originally thought. I mean, one of their plans involves offering 300 gigabytes as a base on all of its essentials, economy, and performance internet packages. And then after that, you actually get more than that on its higher tiers, such as Blast and Extreme. But if you want more than that, you possibly have the chance of paying $10 per 50 gigabytes. But then they also have this other plan that they're going to test where all tiers, all of them get 300 gigabytes per month, and they'll offer additional blocks of data as needed. But they don't really specify any of the other specifics with that plan, which is what worries me is that the first plan sounds okay, but the second one, there's just not enough specifics as far as whether or not that's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it does worry me a little bit. I know I am a heavy data user, but
but I mean, it's not that you're sitting there and pirating software all day. No. You're downloading videos from us.
No, I'm sure there are people out there doing that, but there are also legitimate users out there. And this is one of the things that pisses me off is that some of the comments I saw on this article that was on CNET, they were saying, "Oh, if you don't like caps, well, then you can just go to business." Yeah, if you want to pay about $100 more per month, that's the thing is that there's such a big difference between their residential service costs and their business costs. And I don't understand because it's technically the same thing.
Yeah, all they do is give you business support. That's all.
Right.
That's all. I mean, and you're getting you're uncapped. That's the only difference.
Yeah, and many times their business tiers are slower than what you would get if you were a residential user.
I mean, it's just so nutty.
So you're going to pay more for less. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Why would I spend $100 more per month for slower service than what I'm getting now? Just so that there's no data caps. That's absolutely ridiculous.
It's a very, very silly thing. And someone just messaged me. They go, well, what if it doesn't stop at services like Netflix? What if it actually extends to the Xbox? What if they say, well, if you buy an Xbox through Comcast, the Comcast store, and buy your Xbox Live membership through the Comcast store, we're not gonna cap you. Where does it end?
This is all the whole net neutrality thing, and I kind of see both sides to this. At the same time, when you're looking at these caps, you can say, well, I'll give you a good example because Comcast now is saying that, well, anything streamed through our Xfinity service on your computer does not count towards your cap. Which I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's fine. I don't think that knocks anybody else. It's just, their own services are exempt from their limits, which I think is legitimate.
Yeah.
And I don't see a problem with that. Do you?
No. I mean,
but people are saying that's unfair to everybody else.
What is that?
That they exempt their own services from the data cap.
No, of course not. Listen, that's part of the game. That's what they do. Fios does that. Fios' TV service is IP based, and they exempt that. Your TV usage usage
The
amount
problem
does
I would
not
have is
reflect
if
on your
they actually charge you more for everything else. If they
Yeah.
said, "Oh, well, you use Netflix, so you have to pay $10 more a month."
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to say, well, buy Netflix through us. And that's going to kill competition, because why would you buy it anywhere else? If they're probably going to do some sort of weird agreement like that.
Yeah,
That's their way around this.
it's that and the whole 800 data servicing that they're talking about, like the toll-free service, which is very similar to what you're talking about. I think that's just weird and not good for anybody. That is not good for consumers.
So let's move on to the BlackBerry story.
Do you have the pictures by chance?
I do have the image.
Cool.
The BlackBerry 10's home screen and launcher was officially previewed by RIM. Images came out early this week. I have a shot here. Let me.
Yeah, a lot of the blogs covered this, but I didn't really hear a whole lot of, ooh, wow, that's great. This is going to be awesome when it finally launches.
No, listen, it looks good. It looks very WebOS-like.
Yeah, I think it very much looks like a BlackBerry operating system.
You think
and this is what I said, I believe, on the last show, where RIM does BlackBerry. Nobody else does what BlackBerry is. BlackBerry is very much its own identity, but the problem is that when you compare that to everything else, it doesn't necessarily have the wow factor or any pizzazz. It just is. It works, but there's nothing there. There's not one single thing or a group of things that make you go, oh, wow, this is really great. It's like, oh, well, that's neat. That works intuitively, but it's nothing wow about it. It's like the whole multitasking features that they have on BlackBerry 10, where you can actually flip back and forth between every single application. And it's like, well, that's nice, but there's nothing wow about it.
I don't know. I'm looking here. It's.
I mean, what do you think about they showed the home screen and I think the actual screen where it has all the icons, and I think it looks all right, but in my opinion, it just doesn't.
I mean, it looks nice. No, it looks nice. I mean, I don't know what else people expect. It looks nice. This is what I expected. It's it's a cross of Android and.
What do you think that, now that you've seen what most people are going to see right away, is this something that you're going to necessarily want to go out and get the day or week or month that BlackBerry 10 devices finally do come out?
It depends how they do their marketing. I think they can make this into a very desirable phone. I think they could easily do that.
But I mean, if you look at the history of RIM in general and the way they market things,
well, I think no,
too hung up on their whole business enterprise thing.
No, I actually think that they did a good job with the marketing for that the BlackBerry. What was that touch one that they had?
Torch?
The Torch. No, not the Torch. The one before
that.
The Storm. They had a great marketing initiative with that, and they were very successful at making people want.
Well, that's
that phone.
because they had Verizon and Intel on that one.
Yeah.
This is sort of like Windows Phone having its rebirth in a way. Now it's RIM's turn with BlackBerry, but I don't think there's going to be any carriers out there willing to say, "Oh yeah, we'll market this with you." I really think that there's not going to be any carriers out there that are going to be like, you're not going to see the same kind of push that you would see for Android or iPhone.
I think they're going to be successful with the push. Now, does that mean people are going to buy it? I don't know, but I think they're really going to try, and I think people are going to join up with them. I don't necessarily think this is a bad operating system. I think this is probably a solid operating system, but will it be successful?
But so was Palm WebOS.
Yes, WebOS had a very aggressive, but they ran out of money, unfortunately. And that's sad if that happens to BlackBerry, because they're headed down the same path. Yeah. If you look at the two companies historically, they're kind of in the same position here, which is crazy to think about that, right? I mean, you're talking about BlackBerry. You're talking about a company that had such dominance in the smartphone market 5 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And now they've dwindled away to a very small percentage. And
2007, they were doing great. They were either the top or the top two of smartphones out there. There was BlackBerry and there was the iPhone. That was it.
Yeah. Go into another story. Let's go into one.
All right, let's see what else we have here. This is kind of an interesting story. Earlier this week, Adobe said that they weren't going to necessarily offer security upgrades to its Creative Suite 5 users, CS5, because there was a certain security vulnerability that was shown to be in CS5. And Adobe said, all right, we'll fix this for our future versions. CS6, which is, I believe, out this month, if not out already, has this issue fixed. But they were saying for CS5 users, we don't really want to fix this for you, but we can offer you a discounted price to upgrade to CS6 if you actually want to have the security fix. But now they seem to change the tune that they're actually going to, after all, upgrade or provide upgrade patches for the security vulnerability of CS5 users. What they were going to do, they were going to charge like $200 to $600 for current users of CS5 to upgrade to CS6, just so that they can fix the security vulnerability.
Why are they taking this approach to this?
I find it very odd because if you think about it, it's a security issue. It's not that it's a bug per se. I could understand maybe if it was like a bug, some sort of glitch, maybe, but this is a security issue. I think you have a duty as a software manufacturer. If there's a security issue, you need to provide updates to users free of charge if there's a security issue. And I think for Adobe to come out and say, we'll give it to you if you want to upgrade to CS6 for discounted cost. That's crazy to me. It's a security issue. There's going to be people out there that are perfectly fine with CS5. They don't necessarily want to spend another, $600 to upgrade to the new CS6.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much they charge for the upgrades for these things. And a lot of times, graphic artists need to upgrade.
You really want to pay $200 just to have this security feature fixed? That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I'm very glad that they decided to change their minds on this, because that was absolutely ridiculous what they were doing.
Yeah, you know what I want to ask you? Did you see this story? It's a $74 mini computer. That's a thumb drive.
Yeah, what was it called? I don't remember off the top of my head. I just
read
it.
Android. It's called the Cotton Candy.
I think there was two of them. Cotton Candy was one, but there was another one. I think it was.
There's the FX, and then there's the Raspberry. This one, I'll tell you right now, Chinese reseller. Oh, the All-Winner A1 single. It's called the All-Winner. The small computer. No. The chip is the All-Winner. I think it's called earlier this year we reported that the FXI Cotton Candy, a thumb drive that could be plugged into an HDMI port on the television, was going to be pre-ordered for $199. The $74 All-Winner system looks like an integrated low-cost alternative to Cotton Candy. Both computers have the same GPU, but Cotton Candy runs a dual-core processor. We keep talking about the Apple TV and how, they're going to release this amazing TV with Apple interface and it's going to change television. This is the type of device that will probably change the television. You're going to buy the display, and every couple months, you're going to get an update for your software that plugs via HDMI.
Right.
And that'll control everything. So you'll get updates. You could have different interfaces. I think something like this is the future over an actual device or an actual integrated system. I think this is great. I would love to see what this thing could do. $74.
I don't understand what it is. What is it supposed to do?
It's an operating system.
On a stick?
On a stick.
Okay, you can already do that.
You can, but I guess it's running a specific interface. It's much like how Roku has a device like that, but this is running Linux. It's running
well, yeah,
Android.
I mean, that's what Android is, and you can already do that with certain Linux distributions. So I don't understand what the big deal is over this.
Yeah, I
It's
no,
a glorified USB stick.
it is a glorified USB stick, but I do think this is cool. But it just shows you where they're headed. Do you think something like this is going to catch on? I actually like
No.
this device.
I don't see this catching on at all. I just don't see the appeal to it. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't see who needs this.
I think a lot of
Who's
people
going
that
to use it?
I think a lot of people
Like
are
who?
going to buy this. Something like this. The enthusiasts would buy something like this.
Enthusiasts don't.
I'm just trying to think, if you look, it's 1.5 gigahertz ARM and 512 RAM. 10 years ago, this was an entire computer.
Mm-hmm.
Now this thing is a thumb drive and it connects via HDMI. I just find that amazing. I find it amazing that they're releasing something like this.
Yeah, this to me just seems like this whole netbook and one laptop per child and a Chromebook kind of deal.
No,
That's
I
the
think
way I
something
view
like-
this. Is that I just don't. I see this as a novelty. It's something that
I
it's
don't.
neat, but I don't see this actually going anywhere.
I think this is going to be the future of computing for most people. Something like this, low cost, you just pop it in, and if it stops working, guess what? You could replace it. Instead of spending all that
I see
money.
smartphones more of a replacement right now than anything else.
Do you think they're going to be able to do that with smartphones, where you just pop in your smartphone, you dock it, and there you go? That controls everything?
They've tried that before, and it never has been very successful.
doesn't
I mean,
work,
if you remember
right?
the Atrix.
Yeah, it didn't
I
work.
forget the manufacturer, but the Atrix had that feature, and that they very much marketed it at that way, where you just connect it to the dock and everything comes up on your computer.
Yeah. Yeah, I just found it. I found it to be an interesting
And it's
product.
neat, but where is that today? How many phones actually do that? How many people actually use something like that?
Yeah. Well, someone said AirPlay. Yeah, I guess something like AirPlay, but you would need an operating system. You would need the interface, so I guess that would do it. I want to go into the Yahoo story, and then we'll do our picks of the week. Yahoo booted Thompson. Scott Thompson early this week because of the controversy, and as I throw my pen on the floor, the controversial story about him lying about his education. Now, for people
Yeah,
who
they
don't know
said
what
that
happened,
he had some sort of technology or engineering degree, I think.
but he didn't have that specific degree.
Right.
So that so it turned
Computer
out,
science degree is what it
yeah,
was.
yeah,
And this was this all came out from a hedge fund called Third Point, and the main guy that does this, Loeb or something like that, is a board member on Yahoo, and he led the charge in all of this.
So the story is that he actually stepped down because he has cancer. He has thyroid cancer.
Yeah,
But
just the whole timing of this.
the timing is
now he has
fascinating.
thyroid cancer.
So the timing is a little whacked out, but they replaced him. But do you think that they should have replaced him? Because the entire industry, people fluff their resumes. It happens everywhere. Everybody fluffs their resume.
Right.
Do you think he
my
should have
point.
been
I don't
outed?
see this as a big issue. This is a guy that has, in my opinion, experience that should negate something like that.
Absolutely.
Sure, he shouldn't have done that, but didn't you also look at whether or not he actually has the experience? If he has the experience, what does it matter whether or not he actually has this particular degree?
Yeah, see, that's exactly what it is. How was he performing? So I just think he wasn't performing at the level that the board wanted, so they look for a reason to oust him.
He was barely in there. He was in there for like a month or two.
Nothing. Maybe it was a pain in the ass.
That's what I don't get. Like they just got this Carol Bartz person out.
Yeah,
like,
they got Carol
not that
Bartz
long ago. They just hired Scott Thompson like a month or two ago, and now I just don't understand. Yahoo, in my opinion, with all this changeover, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's not only that, but the fact that they're also replacing people on the board, I believe. Where did I say that? I think they said that Roy Bostock is also parting ways with the board on Yahoo.
Well, you have to also
along
put this
with
into consideration.
Petty Hart, VJ Joshi, Arthur Kern, and Gary Wilson also resigned from the board. So you have this board where you have several people resigning. I just don't understand what's happening here. It's such a chaotic.
Well, it's been a chaotic
management.
mess, and now it's hitting. I mean, this is a company that really has not been performing at the level that they used to. They're
No,
ancient
and
at
if you
this
look
point.
at the chaos that's going there with the management, it's like this company has to be doomed with the amount of changes that they're doing. It's so chaotic and unstable. It's a very unstable environment. Like I would not at all invest in Yahoo right now based on these type of stories that I'm seeing.
Yeah. One more story, and then we'll go into our picks. Microsoft offers $15 Windows 8 upgrade when you buy a Windows 7 PC. Paul Thurrott actually broke the news, the rumor. I guess it is.
Well, he
confirmed.
gave the price point.
He gave the price point, and Mary Jo Foley, a friend of mine actually, she likes beer. I am name dropping. They're both my friends, so I'm not going to say anything mean about them. Mary Jo Foley is very nice, and we drink beer together. She's a beer expert actually, and she told me when she retires from writing, she wants to open up a microbrewery. Very very interesting fact about Mary Jo. She reported the deal. Yeah, this week in Mary Jo. She first reported the deal last week, but it wasn't until Paul put the price point. $14.99 when you purchase a new computer. So it's a deal to get an upgrade to, I guess, whatever. So if you have Windows 7 Pro, you're gonna get Windows 8 Pro. So they're gonna upgrade you to the max amount. A lot of people are saying this is great news. $15, that's not bad. People are still gonna buy computers. They're gonna upgrade. But it used to be free.
Yeah, well, see, this is confusing to me. I listened to Paul Thurrott on What the Tech on Tuesday when you guys were talking about this, but it still doesn't make sense to me why they're doing this.
So before, let's say you had Windows 7 Home Basic, and you bought it in a certain time frame. Let's say the 3 months or 1 month from time of upgrade. You would be upgraded to that level. So if you have Windows Home Basic, you would be updated to Windows 8 Home Basic, for example. Now they're saying, well, no, we're not going to do that. If you have Windows 7 Home Basic or if you have Windows whatever, you're going to be upgraded to Windows 8 Pro. So you're actually getting a boost rather than just going to the next one. I don't think most people care about that. I think most people just want to get the latest version. They're not looking at Pro or Basic or Premium.
I don't think most people look at that.
They don't. So you're getting the higher upgrade, which that's great. I mean, you're getting it for $15, but this was something that was generally offered for free. I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. But are a lot of people going to know to upgrade for $15? I don't think half these people upgrade. Do you think so, Suncast? I mean, I really don't think, like, even when they offer that free upgrade, I don't think people upgrade.
This is not, in my opinion, the operating system to start charging for upgrades. If you looked at it, they're doing this whole Metro UI thing, and to me, it sounds like Microsoft really is pushing this whole Metro UI environment. And now you're going to charge people $15 to upgrade at the least. And they're going to already be unsure about this whole Metro user interface, I think. So you're already making it more difficult with making them pay $15 just to try this out even.
I don't think most people upgrade. I know people that buy computers. They don't even know that there is something called Windows 8 or Windows 7. I had a relative. She bought Windows Vista. She qualified for a free upgrade, and she refused to do the upgrade. She didn't. She's like, I don't want to upgrade. I'm fine with what I have. So I guess that, I don't know. I don't.
Well, that's the whole thing with Windows XP. It still works.
I don't get that. I don't like that. I don't like that people are still on XP. Windows 7 is a phenomenal operating system. Much, much better than Windows XP.
Yes, I would
listen,
agree with that.
And here's the thing. I understand if you have older hardware, Windows XP is great for you. If you have newer hardware, I don't understand why people downgrade to XP. I know people physically, they'll downgrade to Windows XP because they feel like Windows XP is better. And that is not the case. That's not.
I just can't get over the fact that they're going to charge an upgrade fee for Windows 8 when people are like myself, I'm already unsure about Windows 8. There's no way that I'm going to go out right away and spend.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I'm a fan of it, and I talk to Paul about this all the time, and I constantly tell him I probably will not upgrade my streaming machines. So Windows 8 for at least a while until I have to.
Well, that's that business enterprise mindset right there.
Yeah.
Is that it's going to be too new to do those kind of changes.
But I didn't have that with Windows 7. I didn't have that. And I never used the beta. So I didn't even get slowly put in. I refused to use the beta. I got Windows 7 and I was excited to take the plunge into it. I was excited to upgrade my machines. Because I knew there was going to be CPU optimization, it would run faster, newer chipsets are supported better than Windows Vista. I don't get that with Windows 8. The speed optimization is really not there. It's not too much faster than Windows 7.
And it's a whole new interface.
It's a whole new interface that I really
to me
don't go crazy.
is an obstacle in itself to making people want the new operating system, because people generally are not wanting to change what they have. If it already works, why are they going to want to change?
Well,
if you want mass
thing.
adaptation of your new operating system, why charge for people to upgrade to something that's going to be completely new and foreign to them?
When it came with Windows
more so
7,
than in the past, where the upgrade path from XP to Vista to 7 is going to be even more drastically different than that.
when I was working in IT at the time that Windows 7 came out, I had gotten laid off from my job, but I remember I was still doing some IT work for them on the side, and they were excited about 7. I remember them asking me. That's why I went back for a little bit just to install 7 on their computers. I do not feel that buzz with Windows 8. I think a lot of people are scared, especially enterprise, to jump over to Windows 8.
Very apprehensive, I think, is a good word.
They're very apprehensive. Absolutely, yeah. I think enterprise is very apprehensive. Someone in chat room, South Geek, said, "None of my associates are going to upgrade to Windows 8." What does that say? And I'm not saying it's a bad operating system. I actually do like it on my laptop. I don't mind it on a laptop. I think on a tablet, it's going to be unbelievable. I think I'll take the assumption that it'll do better. It's a better operating system than the iPad, than iOS. But I do not see enterprise jumping headfirst into this. Nor would I want to if I was enterprise.
I wouldn't have expected that, and we didn't expect that with Windows 7 either.
Yeah, but they did well with Windows 7. Windows 7.
Yeah, I think Windows 7 was a lot easier to prove to businesses than I think what Metro was going to be right away.
Yeah. So, you want to do picks of the week?
Sure.
What do you think? Do you want to go first?
I can go first if you got my pick already.
I do. I just have to pull the lower third up. Let's see. Picks of the week. Where are you? I'm very professional here. There we go. Picks of the week. And Suncast, what is your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is a website and a group of tools called Text Mechanic, textmechanic.com. It's a group of text manipulation tools, and I needed to use their website. Their website was so handy this past weekend when I was doing a project where I needed to create a whole bunch of sequence of numbers, actually sets and sequences of numbers. So I was generating file names for a project, and I needed to create 1,000 numbers, and it had to have 2 sets in the file name that were sequential. So I would have 01 file name 0001, and then I would have to do 02 file name 0002. And I couldn't find anything to actually do that except for this Text Mechanic website where I could generate these sequences of numbers through one of their generators, and then actually use another tool to actually merge them all together, which is really great. But Text Mechanic has a whole group of tools. They have text line tools, text randomization tools, obfuscation tools, other text tools such as ASCII, hex, Unicode base 64 converters, find and replace. You can generate words from letters. You can do a permutation generator. They have miscellaneous tools such as a keyword phrase generator, online calculator, countdown timer, stopwatch, QR code generator, binary code translator, encryption generator, ROT13, Caesar cipher. They have something like that. You can also remove empty lines. You can remove duplicate lines. You can merge text, like I said previously. You can count characters, words, and lines. This is a very, very helpful website if you have any sort of text manipulation or anything that you need to do with text, this website is great and very handy if you need to do anything like that. It's textmechanic.com. It's very, very, very helpful. Saved my butt with this project.
Very cool. Yeah, I know you were telling me about this weekend. I'm glad you found something.
Oh, it was so much easier. Yeah, it was a little bit of manual label generating the list.
Yeah.
Then you have to copy it over to the merge tool to actually set them all up and merge it. But it was still a lot easier than doing it one by one, hand by hand.
So my pick of the week, it's a hardware pick actually, not software, no app, nothing like that. It is a DBX 286 mic preamp processor, which I got 4 of these this week. I actually have 3 installed here in the studio, and I'm getting the 4th one in about an hour. It should be getting here. What this is, for if you're in radio, a lot of people are familiar with this unit. Mike Phillips, someone in our chat room, helped me pick this up. I think he's in the chat now. I actually think this is a must for anybody that's doing podcasting on any level, and I'll tell you why. If I turn this off right now, which I just did, you're gonna hear all the room noise, and the power of the mic kind of drops out. But if I put it on, it kind of gets cleaned up. You know, it actually sounds a lot smoother. It's a lot quieter because of the enhancements it offers. So you're able to do, I'm going to look here. You could do compression. You could do, it has a de-esser. You could do bass. You could do treble. The most important part is the gate. So you could turn off the room noise, theoretically. It'll mask the room noise, so there's no fuzziness in the air. It's a DBX 286S. You can pick it up for $200. Great unit. I'm really happy with it. I'm really excited to install the other ones and get every mic here converted to it. Suncast, we played around with the audio, and he says like you don't hear any background noise anymore, huh?
Nope.
You could hear everything. You could hear footsteps and popping and everything in the air, but now it's
I can
gone.
still hear the dog barking today.
You can still hear the dog barking.
That was louder than the threshold level, I think.
I think so. I think the dog's bark was a lot louder than.
I mean, you're not going to be able to, take every room noise out. I mean, if a dog is barking right next to you.
But I mean, if I get off the mic now, if I'm talking, I have to yell for you to hear me before you could pick it up. But now you can't. So DBX 286S, you can pick it up anywhere that sells, audio equipment. And that's my pick of the week. Suncast, thank you so much for joining me today. You could go to our website, guysfromqueens.com or gfqlive.tv to watch our audio. Suncast, what is your website? Amadeus, right?
Yes, AMADAIS.com. It's kind of like Rock Me Amadeus.
Very cool. And you
so
feature...
if you're always on YouTube and you're going and find people that do cover songs, that's what I specialize in. I go to YouTube, I find some of the best ones, and I post them on Amadeus.
Very cool. Very cool. And that's it for today, guys. If you want to send us an email, you can send me an email at guysfromqueens@gmail.com, or you could tweet me, because I'm on Twitter, at Andrew Zarian. Suncast is on there also, at Suncast. And we'll see you all next week on Tech News Weekly. Good night, everybody.